Okay, Eldron was asking, and he's a pretty patient guy, so I'm not sure if you guys are talking about the chanter yet, but I'll go ahead and give this a shot. Are there any plans to change how the chanter will buff their party? He goes on to say, it seems toward the end game that the boosts from chanter are almost negligible to higher level players. Negligible. There we go. I'm reading.
So
I can't read and think at the same time, but. Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and write that question.
He's probably pulling this question from maybe the Korean game or the Chinese game, and I think it's also important to remember that how the game is there doesn't necessarily mean it's how it's going to be here. So, we are working on the,
in general, we're starting kind of our kickoff of the game here too. So that's something that we'll answer, eventually, but at this time we're not really going to talk too much about that type of stuff.
Okay, I've got a question then from Geridian. The question is the Dragon NPC race a counter to the player Zerg of the PvP campaign area? And do you have any other ways to help evenly balance PvP for the side that's lacking as strong of a force?
A lot of that comes from setup at the beginning. We're paying a lot of attention to server balance in the beginning so that we can ensure healthy servers throughout. Because like if you don't have healthy servers, then you're not going to have a healthy game, and you're not going to have happy players. So it's something we're taking very serious, and we've got a lot of measures in place. And I think the previous service that launched has done a good job of that, and so we're going to look to see what they've done, and hopefully we can improve if there was any room to improve. So.
Okay, Sedge ML asks, he kind of thinks that the game feels pretty linear, not so much open world feel, but it kind of marches you through. Do you agree with that sentiment? And if you could maybe kind of comment on the open world feel of Ion.
Well, the first two zones, for the most part, they are designed to be sort of an intro to the game, and we want people to experience and grow their character and learn the game. But the game opens up pretty big in the end, and I think that as you progress and get through that, you'll see pretty much limitless in terms of where and what you can go and what you can do. But if you look at maps, then it's kind of hard to tell, but, just because a road's there doesn't mean you necessarily have to follow it. But, in the beginning, we want to make sure that the players, learn about the game and see things in a way that allows them to fully understand where they're at and what they're going to be involved in.
Okay. Ruben, go ahead with this question, and we'll probably take one more after that. So if you guys want to go ahead and type in your questions, see if we can't reach some kind of consensus on what our last question should be. Go ahead, Ruben.
Okay. I was going to ask a question for, almost lost it there, Anumari, who's said, you said that wings have to do with crafting, and I guess they were asking if you could expand on that a little bit, like how, are wings a craftable item, that kind of a thing?
That's something that we kind of want to talk about a little bit later, I think, in terms of, the details of the gameplay. And as we get, into our betas further and further, then we'll start, talking a little bit more specifics for that kind of stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, still looking for our last question. Do you guys see any questions that you'd maybe like to address?
Let's see.
Can you read
there was one thing that they asked about our friends and family in Alpha, like some of the features that they were enjoying the most. One of the things that seems to be kind of hot for everyone is glide feature, and it sounds kind of simple, but it turns into kind of this little competition, and when you're in groups or running around with people, and what the glide feature does is, like, you basically, whether you fall or jump, you can hit your wings, and you can pretty much glide like a hang glider, and you can pick up speed and hit updrafts and keep going, and everybody's kind of like into it. Like they'll find a hill just to go up so they can jump off of and glide down and gain that little bit of extra speed and see if they can get a little bit farther than the other person.
Yeah, we have little in-office contests.
Yeah.
Who can glide the furthest?
Although it's very debatable. So
Yeah.
we just end up arguing.
And a couple people were asking about the concept of an item shop. I know you guys really haven't committed to any kind of revenue model for the game.
Yeah, and that's going to be our answer again.
Okay. And I think we might need to wrap it up on that note.
Yeah, we're the one person that talks about the voiceovers. We're going to be voicing over the English versions in French and German as well. So yeah, they can expect to hear that.
Very cool.
And for the how many people are testing right now, that's tough to say.
I don't know how many people are in the company.
No, yeah. But it is an eerie feeling when you're used to playing an MMO with a heavily populated server.
And you're on the test server, and you're
yeah. I think there was
the world is yours.
There was at one point I was like the only one in the world, and I felt I cried a little. It was lonely.
Well, Brian and Lenny, we can't thank you guys enough for stopping by, and a big thank you to everyone in our audience that came up with some great questions here.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you, and I know some people are listening in from Europe, and I think it's like 1 to 4 in the morning there. So really big thank you guys for listening to us.
Yeah.
All right, well, great. This has been Loading Live number 16. I'm Jeff Ethek-Wolslegel for 10 Ton Hammer, along with Ben McHale de la Durante and Ruben Stardew Waters. Thanks for tuning in.
We're going to go ahead and open up audio here in just a moment. If you do have feedback or something, we will go ahead and remute you. But if you want to sit there and chat with your fellow fans, feel free to do so.